All right, you're going to figure out today that the only people that don't know the day or the hour are the rapture people. They've never got anything correct ever in history. Okay? They're the only ones that don't know the day or the hour. If you know these calendars, and obviously they take a little bit, tiny bit of brain power to figure them out. People, once you crack that code, everything makes sense. What I'm about to show you, okay, this is real world. Okay, now check this out. We all know, or we should know, that every 7 years, there's a market collapse, or there's some market event every 7 years. It's called the shmida year, okay? Whether it's overseas or whether it's here. Happened in 87 with the 87 crash, happened in 94, obviously it was 2001, then it happened with the financial crash in 2008. 2015 was the biggest Chinese and Greek collapse in history, right? And then you had 2021, which most people don't know about, but if you look at, for example, this Bitcoin stuff, or just even the market in general, or all those banks that started going, those secondary banks that started going out of business, that all happened during the shmida, okay? But watch. Here, let me show you the shmida real quick. So the shmida is very simple. The Lord spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai, "Speak to my children of Israel and say to them, when you come to the land which I give you, then the land shall keep a Sabbath to the Lord. 6 years shall you sow your land, you sow your field, in 6 years you shall prune your vineyard and gather its fruits. But in the 7th year there shall be a Sabbath of solemn rest for the land, a Sabbath to the Lord. The Sabbath year is likewise be kept separate, distinct, yada yada." Right? So this is why every 7 years there's some kind of market jarring event. Okay, literally, you can go back to it happens to the exact day, like we talked about on Elul 29, to the exact day. You can go back and read this book and see for yourself. But that's the Sabbath of years. Okay, so here it is. Just as striking what happened to the last land during the Sabbath year was happened to the people on the last day of that year. We talked about this before. The end of every 7 years, you shall grant the release of debts, yada yada yada. It's judgment. I mean, it's a market collapse, some kind of market collapse they do. Okay, so the shmida began in the year 2021 on September 5th, and it ends obviously on Elul 29 the following year, 2022. If you look at the market charts, precise. You're not going to believe this. I didn't even believe this. I knew about this day. I just got connected to the September 26th, 27th day. But look at this. All right, here's our special calendar. We looked at in every single video from the beginning of the month that I've been posting about September 26th and 27th since the beginning of the month, while the rapture people are looking at September 11th and 15th and 18th and 19th and the rest of it. So check this out. Okay, what day were you looking at? Every single video, every single one? January 17th and January 18th. Okay, if you go to January 17th, the biblical day, the Gentile month, the Gentile month is month 1, that's January. And the biblical day is 5, okay? So January 5, coded January 5, everyone see that, January 5. That's January 17th. If you go to the January 18th, the very next day, which is our September 26th, 27th connection right here, the next day right here is the day 11, the month 11, and the Jewish day 6, okay? Remember that. So once again, this day right here, January 17th, is Gentile month 1 and biblical day 5, January 5th. The very next day, as you see up here with the month, it's month 11, and then it's day 6. You're not going to believe this. Watch this. You're not going to believe it. Okay, here's crypto. This is Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin exactly on the shmida year, which started on September 5th, 2021, right? And sept means 7, Novem means 9. Okay, Novem means 9. So exactly, look at the date, exactly on November 9th, the very day, November 9th, what we just show you on that other calendar, 11/6, and we know 6s are 9s, 9s are 6s, vice versa. Exactly on 11/9, once again, exactly on 11/9, Bitcoin topped exactly at 69,000 handle, okay? And that very day was the very top. And if you go through the shmida year that started, that went all the way until the year September of 2022, right around September, October of 2022, Bitcoin fell from 69 down to 15. The very top was that very exact day, 11/6, that I just showed you. 11.6 was the very top at the beginning of the shmida year. But when did the market top? Look at this. The market, the real stock market, topped exactly. The very top day was January 5th. On January 5th, I can't pull up the hour chart, but if you look on January 5th, the date I just showed you on the other calendar, was the very top of the market during the shmida year. Literally 11.6 and J5 was the very high of the market. It started collapsing on that day. On the real stock market went down almost 25-30% during the shmida year. And it topped on that very day. Why is that important? Because that is our date. Those 2 days, the exact day, 11.9 and January 5th. Let me show it to you. There it is again. Okay, Gentile month 1, biblical day 5, the top of the stock market, the very exact day. The other day we're looking at, September 27th, the next connection, 11.6, the calendar we look at every single time I do a video. 11.6 was the very top of Bitcoin, but it was on 11.9, sixes or nines. So literally, the market and crypto topped on this exact day. The January 17th, 18 code, which is connected to September 26th, 27th. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. This is mind-blowing. And one thing I'll tell you with that Trump shooting, to make it very clear, so the first Trump shooting, let's go to that calendar. The very first Trump shooting was on this July 13th date, which I said in the other video. And I said, all you have to do is add 6 to 5 and you get 11. Very simple. If the Jews use 2 calendars, okay? So the Jews use 2 calendars. If you want to know, they code it on both calendars. So they're 6 months apart. So if a number is below 6, like for example 5, you add 6 to it. And that's how you get 11. That's how we got our 11.6 exactly. I'm sure people understand that now. But 11.6 exactly. That's how they code it right there. So Trump, once again, was his two fake assassinations were on 9/11, the 9/11 and 7/11. Unreal. But that was just a clarification from the last video. Either way, right now, what you just saw is the market topping on the very day of our September 26th, September 27th connection. Precisely, and September 26th leaves 96 days in the year. The top of the Masonic Arch is exactly the day 6/9, 9/6. This is why 6s are 9, 9s are 6s, inversions and all that. So Bitcoin topped the very day, the very day we're looking at, on top of that, 69 right there. Unbelievable. And as I just talked about, here's the Masonic Arch. The very top of that arch, 6/9, 9/6, 6/9, right there. This is why 6s are 9s, 9s are 6s, top of the Masonic Arch. And this is why September 26th is so key. September 27, 26 is so key because on that day leaves 96 days in the year. As you saw, the market, Bitcoin, all that, it topped on this day. It just connects to every single thing you can possibly connect to. All right, you got to see some of these comments that people left in the last video. This is crazy. So thanks for these few comments, because obviously I didn't know any of this, and this is nutty. But not sure if you're aware, or if you mentioned that September 27th, International Rabbits Day, and the rabbit in Donnie Darko and I Pet Goat. Holy cow, this person beauty for ashes. That rabbit also has the bullet wound in the right ear on the tip, just like Trump. If you look at the cover of the, or if you Donnie Darko trailer or cover, it's all about rabbits. All we know, I Pet Goat has that rabbit, and they have a lot of rabbit symbolism all over the place. So this is crazy that the 27th is even International Rabbits Day. What the hell? And here's another great comment, Princess Warrior. So the Lord, like 2 years ago, might have been there might have been 3. Now kept showing me quadruple 7. Me and my sister, so we kept looking it up. Look at Bible verses. We looked it up in the Strongs. We looked it up every way that you can imagine. So finally we went to Google, put in gematria and put in quadruple 7. You can do it. And right now when you do it, you put in quadruple 7, scroll down, you will see that you're going to see New York City Times Square tsunami, Roman numerals that equal 101424. Okay, check this out. Obviously, we're not looking at 101424 because it's got to be a date. But check this out. So we are in. Okay, so we're in a leap year, obviously. So if you go to October 14th on the Hebrew calendar, this is the Torah. On the Hebrew calendar is Tishri, and that's the month we're in right now. And we cannot go past this date, September 26th, 27th, because that's the end of the year, obviously. So if you look at Tishri 14, coded Tishri 14, and you do it on this calendar, because obviously they're not going to put it right in front of you. You got to do a little bit of brain power. So that October 14th date she's talking about would be September 14th on this calendar. And look at this date, September 14th, Yom Kippur. And the end of Yom Kippur, which started on midday the 14th and ended on the midday the 15th. And we all know the 15th is when the the second fake Trump assassination was, Yom Kippur. So what the Jews say is on the Day of Trumpets, the Feast of Trumpets, your judgment is delivered, or judgment is handed down, okay, on the Feast of Trumpets. That's why for 10 days, the Jews repent. It's called the 10 days of awe. On Yom Kippur, your name is written in the book of life or the book of death, okay? That is when judgment is sealed. And then if you research Shemini Ezrat, the day we've been talking about, that's when judgment is delivered. So this exact day that she talked about in her comment is connected to Tishri 14, which is September 14th on her calendar, Tishri 7, and then the Gentile day 14. And that's exactly Yom Kippur. So this is nutty. All right, so the final thing I'll show you is this person was kind enough to leave a comment in the on the last video, and this is mind-blowing. This is way above my brain capacity, but I'll read it to you. And once you understand it, I had to read it like 3 times, but once you understand it, holy moly. Her name is Susan, so Susan, thanks for posting this. So a friend looked at various numbers in the Bible and found they were all connected to the Fibonacci sequence, the 153 fish, 276 souls on Paul's ship, etc. He doesn't do gematria, but looked into scripture about days, weeks, and hours. He came up with this after looking for clues to the deeper meaning of 666. This was months ago. Now with your information, wow. Total days from September 11th, 2001 to September 26, 2024 equals 8,416 days. So you take 8,416 days, she says, and times it by 24. So this gives the total elapsed hours between these dates. The total is 201,984 hours. And then you can read that. 66,666 plus 666, so you read that, and equals exactly 201,996 is what it equals. So going on New York time, the first plane hit the Twin Towers at 8:46. If we add up the 12-hour difference between 201,984 to the 2,196 that this person came up with, that 12-hour difference, that event will occur at 8:46 New York time on September 26, 2024. That's a Thursday. The New York Yankees are playing the Baltimore Orioles on the same evening. The game starts at 7:05 in the Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. And also that day, I kept talking about that there's also a Giants-Cowboys game in New York or New Jersey on that same exact day. So these stadiums are going to be full of people on those days. But holy cow, you can pause this and read it thrice if you'd like, as I had to. But oh my God. I did add on there that even the George Floyd ritual was also when they was on the fake ritual of the guy's neck for exactly 8 minutes and 46 seconds, just like when the plane hit. The only verse in the Bible that appears twice is the one about beware of the ones that call themselves Jews and are not, but lie, like Jonathan Kahn. And if you put that exact verse in the gematria calculator, not that I ever promote or talk about gematria because it's junk, but it does have a little place, some little tiny place. And if you put that exact verse from the King James Bible into the gematria calculator, the only verse that appears twice equals exactly 846. So this is crazy. But thanks for watching. Have a good day.